Morning, cyber friends. Mitty Man coming at you from Walks Music with yet another word for the day. We're giving a shout out to the YouTube fam, End Time Harvest Gang, well, Blog Talk family. We also want to give a special shout out this morning to our sister Maria. Maria, we are very appreciative. We want to also say that we are so glad to hear from you. And the way you did it is I applaud you. And we are so very thankful, and we wanted you to know that we certainly do appreciate the concern. But old Mitty Man is fine. We just glad, and I'm glad your email was very encouraging, because yes, we know how people can be sometimes, and we don't worry about that. Never. You can't, because you do. I have a saying that I put up on, I often tweet sometimes that trying to satisfy some people is just like trying to drink up the Pacific Ocean. It's not possible. In other words, you have to just cut the deck and go on. No. Yeah, old Mitty Man deal with a whole lot of these different issues from day to day, and I've gotten used to it. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, sister, if I don't see some bad situation, I think I'm in the wrong place, because I've gotten so used to them. But nevertheless, all is well. In other words, everything is all right down here and down below Atlanta. Everything is just fine. We just hoping and praying and trusting that everything is okay with all of you. And we just want you to know that is more support than you realize. It's when people can be discerning. That's what I love. You see, when you can discern things, you don't have to be told everything. That's one of the things they used to tell us in the military about initiative. You can see certain things, you can analyze them from a distance, but you don't have to judge it. And you can do something. In other words, if you cannot help a situation, do not try to hurt it. And that's what I like about your email. But yeah, because you saw concern. But everything, all is well on the Western Front here. Believe it or not, all is well on the front. And we just have to deal with certain people according to knowledge, because of the fact that of the knowledge of God. Because if you do not deal with them according to the knowledge of God, you would do something else to them. In other words, you know what I mean by that. But we just thank you for the email. We thank you for the concern and everything. And I thank you for your discernment, because you got a good eye. Because, like you said, everybody, matter of fact, me and Brother JT have spoke about this here many times, on many occasions. I try to tell people, not everyone follow Christ. Not everyone. And a lot of them that started following him, they left and never did return. But I never remember seeing in Scripture anywhere where Jesus ran behind nobody either. He let them win. You can't make people get on your program. You cannot make that. People got free will. God gave them that. So we have to accept things. We have to accept what people decide that they want to do, because that's their prerogative. In other words, so no, you never try to get upset when people don't get on board with what you do. You just go on and do what you have to do regardless. Because I remember when you told me that you were going to kill your Facebook account, and as you remember, I said, sister, you're going to have to do what you got to do. We hate to see you go, but you got to do what you got to do. Because I know it, I realize, and I use Facebook, and I go there sometimes for different things, and I post, and money I go there to see, as I see it in my contact, like yourself, and Lady D, and Brother JT, and whatnot, the people that, in the circle. But that's most of what I do, deal with Facebook. That's about it, and I get out of there, because the only thing you see, and like I said, everybody can do like they want to, because they got free will. It's one thing to post a lot of stuff, and it's one thing for us to sit here on these cameras and say this and say that, and I realize that we all are human, and we subject to failure, and we mean well sometimes, but it doesn't pay us to do too many promises, because we're not able to keep promises. We're human. We don't have time in our hand. Let me say it like that. We don't know what might happen in a given day and time, and we be done promise you something, then not able to do it, because we're human. But I back that up to say this. When you told me about your Facebook account, and I could understand to a degree, because, like I say, it's one thing for me to sit here and preach one thing, but it's another thing for me to do it. In other words, we post a lot of sayings up on Facebook and different sayings. And matter of fact, I went there this morning to try to check up on some people and everything, and I see a whole bunch of things that people have posted and everything, and they be true. The posting be true, but 9 times out of 10, we are the ones who are guilty at the stuff that we post sometimes. You know, we try to make other people feel, trying to, you know, in other words, one who teach must also be careful. That's how come I try to walk right, because I don't want to get caught up in being teaching something that I'm not doing. And I don't want to do that, because that's called a hypocrite. And I don't want to be played the hypocrite, but let everybody know that we are human. We are subject to mistake. And so therefore I try not to judge anyone, even though they might say something. But I know Peter, he did a lot of talk. Peter meant well though. Peter loved Jesus, but he was human. And that's where I look at people. When they be saying a lot of things and talking about what I do, now I be there with you, now I do this, now I watch that, and I take it with a grain of salt. So you give people a bit of benefit of the doubt and go on. But I know what you mean, sister, when you said that by Facebook. So that's how come I understood, and I never did try to judge you about you killing your account on Facebook, because I could understand. And this is how come I told you, I deal with it. I go there to check on certain contacts and see what's going on, post my little old thing, and get out of there. But all these here different, you know, like I said, we must be careful. In other words, I'm going to say it like this. Minuteman try to be careful when I'm posting stuff. I wanted to help people, and because I need help myself, and I want to help folks. But I make certain that I try to post that's going to edify, not tear down. You don't post stuff to try to tear down people, but make certain that you are doing it yourself, because you play the hypocrite. That's how I come out be careful about what I post. So in other words, we just wanted to let you know, sister, we were so appreciative. That was an email in due season, believe me. In other words, and I really do appreciate it, and I thank you for the uplift and not judgmental. I love that, because we don't need. In other words, he said, judge ye not, and that's exactly what you did not do. You just told it like it was. You had an observant eye, because yes, remember the folks, some of the people that follow Jesus, as long as they for the fish and the loaves, that's one of the reasons why a lot of them follow Christ. And then after that, you know, Jesus, when the thing got rough, a lot of them left. And that's the way people, that's human nature. We don't worry about it. So with that being said, this man saying this weekend, watch yourself out there, be careful, because the life y'all save might very well be your own. Watch yourself in there. And anything that God is not in, it's best that we come on out of it. This is Minute Man saying peace. Goodbye.